I got one more question for you. It's a big picture question. We keep asking Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch about Brandon Aiyuk. It's been almost a full year since he hurt his knee. It was week 7 last year. So this is week 7 this year. And whenever they're asked about Aiyuk, they say, he's getting better, but there's still no timetable. And it's the strangest thing because you'd think they'd want him out there. My question to you is, what incentive does Aiyuk have to come back and play this season?
To be honest, he doesn't have an incentive. If he is not mentally in tune with himself and feel that he's at the top of his game, why is he going to put himself out on the field? Because then all he's going to do is open up himself for criticism and say, well, he's not as good as he was, and we overpaid him, and we did the
contract. Yeah,
correct. And so he can save himself a lot of grief until he feels like he himself mentally is ready to go. The doctor can say you're physically 100%, but if you're not mentally there as well, that 100% physical is never going to show because you got the mental drag and you don't feel correct and you don't feel right, as the player says. I don't feel right today. Well, and the bottom line is that I coached a receiver years ago who's an outstanding receiver who got scoped on his knee by the U.S. ski team doctor up in Colorado, and they gave him the all clear, the all go mentally. They said, this guy's fine, he can go. He himself would come and say, God, I hear something in my knee, or I hear this, I feel that. And he never was quite the same after the surgery, not because of the physical recovery, but because of his mental recovery, where he wasn't always trying to. It's like if your car has broken down previously, the next time you're driving down to Niner practice or the facility, your ears are always in tune, like you're listening to your vehicle, you're listening to the engine because, I think I heard a tick here, I heard this. That's the way people are with their knees.
Yeah.
You're listening to your body and you're waiting for pretty soon it becomes something that you create, even though it may not be there. You think you heard it or you think you felt it, and then that becomes the debilitating factor for you.
Yeah, it seems like, if he were to rush back and play in the next couple of weeks before the trade deadline, maybe the Niners could trade him. Maybe he'd like to leave, but where would you go? The Giants? Maybe he thinks if they're going to trade me, why don't I just wait, take the rest of the year off, and they can trade me next year. I'm in no rush. And again, like you said, if he goes out there and doesn't look like Brandon Aiyuk, that's a big problem considering all the money he's getting paid. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now.
Well, the other thing, think about this. He's had, since last injury in the last season, he's been off the field, been rehabbing. He has not probably gone full speed at any time thus far. And then now he's going to go out, even though a 21-day window in which to get him back up to practice and everything before they can activate him.
Yep.
Where is he going to get that kind of practice now during the season, during midweek when the Niners are prepping for another ball game, for him to feel that he's got that kind of competence feeling to be able to execute at full speed?
Yeah, we saw him last year with no training camp, the first 7 weeks of the season. He didn't seem like himself. He wasn't particularly special. When he had his best years, he was the 49ers Iron Man of the offseason. Now he's coming off an injury, no offseason, no training camp. Just going to throw him out there week 7, 8, 9 and expect him to be better than last year or the guy you paid him to be. I wouldn't expect that.
It's not physically possible. And then mentally, right. I don't think he'll be at that point regardless.
Right. So when the Niners say he's getting better, but he's still not close to coming back, it could be another year.
Correct. It could be another off season and, another more aggressive 4 months from January to April or whatever before mini camps or whatever. And he then has a better chance to recover full speed.
Well, if you're serious about him being part of your future, you gave him the contract. I think you thought he'd be part of your future at one point. What's the point in rushing him back, right? You want to make sure that he's himself when he eventually does come back.
Correct. And the other thing about it is I've got to rely upon my other guys in the meantime to make plays. And then if I bring Aiyuk back, who am I going to sit and to whom I'm now throwing the ball is not going to be getting balls that he was getting while Aiyuk's out. So then now I got to worry about how that affects the mental outlook of those other players on whom I become more dependent when Aiyuk was not playing.
I got a bonus question for you. Ricky Pearsall's out with a PCL injury. He didn't practice yesterday. I see him walking around. He seems okay, but apparently he's not. I think Brock Bowers has the same injury. What do you know about this? It seems kind of debilitating.
Well, it is. You know, the PCL being your posterior cruciate ligament. Yeah, it's in as think about this. If your knee is not well and you've got strained ligaments, partial tears, or whatever, they say, well, you know, your meniscus doesn't require surgery. It's a first degree, second degree, or third degree tear. If you've got a first degree meniscus, you might be out 3 or 4 weeks, but still, by the same token, there's a partial tear in there, or there's a strain in there. And of course, the other thing, Grant, is not every player recovers at the same ratio as everybody. Everyone's knee is different.